Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Grand Sumo Breakdown. My name is Ryan. I'm joined as always by my three good friends.
This is Jake.
This is Eric.
This is Mac.
And today is going to be the very first preview edition. We're going to preview the Akibasho, or the September tournament, which will begin on September 10th of this year, obviously. Hopefully you've already listened to our introduction sumo podcast. If you haven't, and you really haven't had any introduction to sumo before, I highly recommend listening to that one. We just kind of cover the basics of sumo and just learn a little bit more about ourselves. So today, this episode is just going to be kind of a preview of the Bansuke, or the roster of the upcoming Akibasho, and then we're going to give our predictions at the end. So why don't we just start off with everybody's overall thoughts on the upcoming tournament?
I think the biggest story is going to be the injuries. For me, the biggest thing that's going to impact this tournament compared to others is just how many guys are banged up. It looks like a couple of guys near the top are maybe not even participating at all. Kisano Sato and Kakuryu, two of the Yokozuna, both had to pull out last tournament. Both guys after 4 or 6 days or so, it looks like. And yeah, who knows how they're going to be this tournament. They could end up giving up a lot of losses. Who knows?
Yeah. Have you heard about Kakuryu at all? Is he still going to be in this tournament?
I know that he did not participate in the summer tour, the Jungyo, I believe it's pronounced. This is actually the longest break between tournaments. It's an extra week. So during this time, they take a number of the top guys and go around a tour of the country, doing exhibition matches, things like that. And Harumafuji was the only one who actually participated in the entire tour. So it looks like the other three Yokozuna are not doing so great.
What was wrong with Hakuho?
He's having some knee trouble. Not quite sure how that's going to impact him coming into the tournament, but he was at least taking it easy in between.
Yeah, I heard that it's kind of the more he does sumo, it hurts. If he doesn't do any sumo, it hurts. So there's just something going on there. Speculation that he might not be able to finish this tournament, but who knows? And I know, going on Jake's point of injuries, there beyond the Yokozuna, I mean, I know Terunofuji had injury issues.
Yeah, he pulled out after day 6.
Yeah, I believe he's good to go for this Basho. It sounds like he's been training. So it sounds like he should be good to go, ready to defend his Ozeki status as he is Kadoban.
Burn.
But, yeah.
Burn, Terunofuji.
Yeah, Mac's not a fan of him.
No.
Yeah, there's well, Mac can explain it a little bit better, I think.
One of my actual favorites is Koto Shogiku, and he was an Ozeki defending his position. And unfortunately, he had 3 bad tournaments and ended up losing it. However, his next tournament afterward, he could regain his Ozeki status. And then Terunofuji, he'd lost a couple, he was fighting back, he just needed one more win, and Terunofuji jumped right out of the way. Right off the Tachiai. Didn't even touch him, just jumped and let Koto Shogiku fly by. Yep. It was very angry. I was very mad.
Yeah, I believe Koto Shogiku needed to get 10 wins as a Sekiwake to regain his Ozeki status. He had, I believe, 5 losses at that point, and then he faced Terunofuji, and if he lost to Terunofuji, he was guaranteed to not get the Ozeki status back, and Terunofuji just did a Henka, stepped right to the side at the Tachiai, while Koto Shogiku was charging forward and automatically lost the match.
Yeah, I don't think we've touched on that before, but a Henka is when, at the very beginning of the match, normally the wrestlers charge straight at each other and fight it out from there. Technically, it's not illegal to just kind of jump right to the side, right out of the way, and let the other guy fly right past you. It's considered dishonorable, but it's not illegal. So, in a very, very important match, Terunofuji kind of blew his chances at having Mac as a fan. I'm sure he stays up late at night.
The rest of the stadium shared my distaste.
That's
there
true.
were many boos, and even Koto Shogiku refused to bow after the end.
Yeah, that was about as dramatic as it gets.
Yeah.
That cemented me as one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Terunofuji fan myself.
Burn.
Yeah, he's one of the first real bad guys, like I've noticed in sumo. Like he legit did something that was just terrible for another guy.
Yes.
And he has a swagger. Like there was a couple bashos ago where he got the Junyu show, which was the runner-up, and that was when I think it was January
against
against
Kiseno
Sato.
The playoff one?
Yeah, but when he was just rolling through that, he just had a swagger about him, just kind of like a badass guy that really didn't care too much what other people thought about him. It kind of cemented me as a fan of Terunofuji.
He's a young guy, and he's
only
very,
25.
Yeah, and he's very when he's on, but he's injured a lot, and he just seems to alternate between good and bad tournaments.
Yeah, he has knee troubles as well. He actually had surgery before the July one to hopefully get that fixed.
Oh yeah, that could be part of why he pulled out then after less than half of it.
And I think he was on record saying like it didn't really help the surgery did. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting what he decides to do because it sounds like he just has to deal with that pain.
Yeah, and it sucks that well, I mean, it's good and bad, but you can't really take time off in sumo because you'll lose rank if you're not there. It's basically it counts as losing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there used to be a rule, I think it was abolished back in 2003, where you could take a tournament off without risk of losing rank, but they got rid of that.
I imagine what happens.
Seems like they could abuse that.
Yeah, well, I imagine what happens. Like, there's always a couple, probably top Rikishi taking the tournament off. So it was never like one tournament where everyone was facing off.
Yeah,
right. I bet that's the reason why.
Yeah, take one off in the middle of the summer, get a little bit of rest, come back energized for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as an American watching the sport, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of you're injured and then you lose your spot. I mean, there's really nothing you can do about that, but it's totally different over there in Japan with the whole honor code and whatever. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but it's definitely different than the culture here in America.
They're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as much as it sucks, it's one way that they make sure that everybody shows up, that nobody can really fake it because they're going to be punished severely for it.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps everybody coming back whenever they're able to physically. So
yeah.
And yeah, he's not the only Ozeki who's got injury problems. It sounds like Takayasu may have had less severe injury, perhaps, but an injury nonetheless. We all noticed that he was fading pretty badly. He is the only Ozeki who had a winning record last tournament, but he did seem to fade kind of late.
Mm-hmm. It was a shoulder injury, wasn't it? Wasn't he just leading too much with his shoulder when he was charging?
I don't know if I ever saw it confirmed anywhere what was going on, but yeah, he just seemed real slow. He didn't seem to have the effort in him at the end of the tournament.
Well, I think what we were watching was initially when the Basho began, he would lead with his forearm shivers. I mean, just charge right out of his stance
every
and just
single time.
blast him, and it was effective. And then right about after he got in his 8th, he just dropped off instantly.
Yeah, he and Ura had that one epic match where they it was back and forth, and they both just slugged the crap out of each other, and then eventually Takayasu came up on top. And was it the same match where they both seemed to be injured afterwards? Because it was right around the same time.
Yeah, because Ura got hurt too.
Yeah, I forget which match that Ura got injured in the last Basho.
Yeah, but either way, there's word out there that he's not at 100% either.
Yeah,
all indications at this time seem like he's probably going to be competing, but yeah, he definitely
probably
seems
not as
banged up.
explosive as he's been in the last few Basho.
For somebody that mobile, that could be a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, who else is injured? Endo is another big one. Endo was, he was ranked at Megashira number 3.
Yep.
He went 2 and 3, and then he just had to pull out for the last 2/3 of the tournament. And I think he had surgery in between, didn't he?
Ankle surgery. Yeah.
Ankle surgery.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, there's a possibility that he's still recovering and that he's not going to compete. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but it doesn't look good for him either.
Yeah, and if he doesn't compete, it's very likely he's going to drop down to the Juyo ranks and out of Makanuchi.
Yeah, so he could take an entire tournament or a couple to get back up into the top division. Yeah. That's going to be a big one because he's very, very popular from what we understand.
The entire time we've been watching, he's been top 1 through 3 of Maegashira, it seems like.
Somewhere in that range, yeah.
And
dropping down.
It does seem like he's one of the most popular Rikishi over there.
Yeah, he's been in Makanuchi for a while, at least since 2014.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he's popular. I believe I can't judge from my own perspective, but I believe he is regarded as extremely handsome. Yeah, he's been in Makunouchi beginning of 2014, and he's dropped down to Juryo once in that time.
Okay, yeah, I know he's very popular over there. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Endo because he has the potential to take out anybody at any time. It seems like it's just it just seems like he doesn't care to me. Like he'll get a huge win one day and then just come back the next day, get pushed right out the back of the dojo, not even put up a fight. It's just very
inconsistent.
Yeah, very inconsistent, and almost seems like he doesn't care. But
obviously he does to get all the way to the top.
Exactly.
You hate the guy? What do you hate about him?
Simply because of that. He just seems super popular, and just since I've been watching, I just can't really see it.
He hasn't earned it for you?
He has not earned it for me.
I bet it just rubs it in every time they mention how popular he is, doesn't it?
And I think about Asashoryu, not Asashoryu, but who's the guy I love? Arawashi.
Arawashi.
He doesn't get nearly as much credit as he should have.
Well, yeah, because he henkas all the time.
Oh, but he got like 2 kimboshis or 3 kimboshis. There was the January tournament. I remember he lost like pretty much every match except against like Ozeki or Yokozuna. It was fantastic.
That was January. That. He got two kinboshi in January. That's a Megashira who beats a Yokozuna, and then he got another one. He only in March of 2017 he only got 3 wins, but one of them was against a Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Now, the 2 kimboshi that he got, was that Kakuryu and Haramafuji?
I'm bringing that one up now.
I believe one was over Hakuho.
One was over Hakuho?
I'm pretty sure that was back when he was injured. He might have pulled out of that tournament, or he just didn't have a great tournament. But
it was Hakuho and Kakuryu.
Holy cow.
Hakuho was he didn't pull out of that tournament. He finished with an 11-4. Yep. So yeah, at that point, Kakuryu was injured. Kakuryu did pull out after day 11 in that tournament. But
story of his year.
Story of his year. I mean, he's really got to pull it together, get back in the game, and have some good tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is kind of his term to prove himself, right?
As far as we're aware, I mean, hopefully that time off was able to get him back in shape. But he's kind of in that position where you can't ever lose the Yokozuna rank. You just kind of get pressured to retire by the administrative side of the organization. Mm-hmm. So that may be in his near future, but that would be the first time that we'd seen that happen in the time that we've been watching.
Yeah, and this would probably be the best tournament actually for that to happen, because with all the injuries, everyone's not going to be at full strength. He can probably rise ahead.
Unfortunately for him, he's one of the people that's not going to be at full strength.
It's true. Exactly.
He might have healed up. I haven't heard too much about in the last couple months. I guess he wasn't at the.
He was not at the Jungyo tour.
Jungyo,
yeah. So. Just for some perspective, going back to last July, he has completed 3 tournaments. He's pulled out of more tournaments than he's completed since last July.
He's won one of those at least.
He did go 14-1 in last November.
Mm-hmm. That was when we started watching.
Yeah, that was the first full tournament I watched.
Yeah, and it seems like it kind of gave us a bad impression of the guy because when
we saw him, he was awesome.
Good. Yeah.
Well, he's Yokozuna. We can't just say
that was poor phrasing. Yeah, he's very, very good. He's only like the 4th or 5th.
He's only won
3
world. Tournaments.
Take that with a grain of salt there.
But regardless, he is. He's only 32 years old, which is like generally a little bit past prime. But
Hakuho's 32. He's just won 2 Boschers in a row.
Yeah, actually, all the Yokozuna are pretty close to the same age, but Hakuho seems to be showing his age the least.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's going to be the driving story of this tournament is going to be the injuries. But let's just kind of go through the Banzuke or the roster, just kind of see where everybody stands after the last one. Still, obviously, have 4 Yokozuna. You got Hakuho, the winner of the last 2 tournaments. Haramafuji, who hasn't won any tournaments in the past year, but he's always up there towards the top of the rankings for each tournament. And you got Kisano Sato and Kakuryu, who've been fighting injuries for the past couple of tournaments. Ozeki, we've got Takayasu, and he's the only Ozeki that had a winning record in the last tournament, which means he's the only Ozeki who is not Kadoban. And so what that means, again, just in case we didn't cover that, is an Ozeki that had a losing record, so they don't automatically get demoted. they've earned the right to kind of defend their rank as Ozeki. So if they get Akachi Koshi or a winning record in the next tournament, they get to keep their rank. And so at the Kadoban Ozeki rank is Goedo and Teruno Fuji. And as we discussed, Goedo just kind of had an off tournament.
Yeah, he went 7-8. He didn't pull out for injury, but that doesn't mean that he's not hurt. It's just not enough for him to pull out.
Yeah. Also, you got Teruno Fuji there, who did pull out after I believe he said 6 days. He had like
Correct.
a 1-5 record.
1-5 and then 9 absences.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we have the Sekiwake ranks. We got Mitake Yumi, who was a Shin Sekiwake or a new Sekiwake at the last tournament. He got a 9-6 record with also the Sancho or special prize for outstanding performance, I believe.
Correct. He was the only one to beat Hakuho.
Yep. And so joining him is going to be Yoshikaze, who was a Komusubi in the last tournament, and he's get promoted with the demotion of the Komusubi Tamawashi, who had a 7-8 record at the last tournament. And then joining him is going to be Tochi Ozan, who jumped up. I don't remember. He was like Megashira 5 or 6.
5, yep. All the way up from 5 to Komusubi.
Yeah, had a 12-3 record. That's something I want to discuss a little bit more once we get to it, just kind of how he jumped over some people who I felt were a little bit more deserving of that Komusubi, and it might just be kind of the American way of looking at it versus the Japanese way of looking at it. But we can get to that later. Megashira number 1, we've got
Tochinoshin and Kodo Shogaku.
Kodo Shogaku out of the Sanyaku ranks for the first time in over 6 years, because I know he was Ozeki for 6 years. Is that correct?
I'm bringing that up. But yeah, he's been Sanyaku is everybody who's above the Megashira. And the last time that Kodo Shogaku was below Komusubi was all the way back in 2010.
Holy cow.
Wow, yeah. So
Yep. Since then he had his Ozeki run, he was Sekiwake for 4 tournaments in a row. Did well enough to get an Ozeki rank, and he's held that all the way up until he lost it at the beginning of this year.
Yep, and unfortunately, he's just dropped a rank every single tournament throughout the past year. So he's back at Megashira 1. Hopefully, he can get back up to Komusubi. And like you said, you got Tochinoshin up there, who was, I believe, Megashira 2 at the last tournament.
Yep.
Also had a 9-6 record, so he bumped up a little bit.
Tochinoshin is one of the more recognizable guys. He's actually a Westerner. He is from Georgia. Not USA, Georgia.
Yes.
Eastern Europe, Georgia.
The country, Georgia.
But yeah, he's super tall, and he is extremely strong. Not the most technical. I mean, he's extremely technical, but relatively, he relies more on his strength. He can grab people and throw them around.
Grab the belt,
real
pick
far.
them up, and back them out.
His tactics are simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. You see the same thing pretty much most fights with him. Mm-hmm. And then Megashira 2, you're going to have Hokuto Fuji, who had a good showing for himself last tournament at Megashira 2 as well. Got a Kinboshi. No, did he get a Kinboshi? No. Maybe. He beat Kiseno Sato, I believe. Jake is going to look that up.
He did get a Kinboshi. He only finished 8 and 7, so he's not moving up further.
That's right.
But he did get a win over Kakuryu.
Oh, it was Kakuryu.
Before Kakuryu pulled out. Yep.
Okay. And then joining him at Megashira 2, you have Aoyama, who was a Megashira 8 or 9 in the last tournament and was the Jun show. Had the Jun show for the last tournament where he was the runner-up with a very surprising 13-2 record.
You mean the future Yokozuna?
I do not mean the future Yokozuna.
The gigantic Bulgarian.
Yeah, I mean the man who is going to be dominated at this tournament and drop down in the ranks where he belongs.
In case you can't tell, Aoyama is not exactly Ryan's favorite.
He is not. I've never liked him. It is as simple as he's not a very pleasant man to look at, and that's all I need. So he is not my favorite.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's 192 kilos.
Yeah, and he's going to drop down to mid Megashira ranks where he belongs in this next
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah, whatever.
We'll see about that.
No, he got 13-2 because he was all the way down at 8. He was one of those guys that
He got too big for his britches is what he did.
yeah, no, he was he had a couple bad tournaments and dropped down pretty far. But from Megashira 8, his talent was better than his rank. So when he was, you kind of fight guys that are near your own rank. So if you have a lower rank, you have essentially an easier path to victory. So when he was down at 8, he was outclassing everybody around him. Only lost twice, got a special prize, got runner-up, moved all the way up from 8 to 2.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind the only person in the Sanyaku ranks who he faced and beat was Yoshikaze at Komosubi. He didn't face anybody above that ranking.
Yoshikaze is pretty good, though.
He's a
Yoshikaze
Sekiwake
is
now,
good.
and I don't think he's going to be up at Sekiwake very long, in my personal opinion. But once again, we can get to that later.
Yeah, he has to make space for Oyama.
Of course.
Yeah, that's...
He does have
If
an
that-
impressive thrust attack.
I'm not prepared to make some big, bold statement if Aoyama makes it to Sekiwake rank, because I know he's been there before. I'm just going to say I don't think it's going to happen.
What is the
I'm just not
highest
going
he's
to put
achieved?
anything on the line.
Yep, he was Sekiwake
For
2002
one tournament.
tournaments.
2 tournaments.
That's completely different. That's twice as many. That is twice as many tournaments. But yeah, he's been around for a while. He's moved up and down, but he's generally one of those guys who's kind of top 5 of the Mega Shira range. That's about where he should be as far as his talent. But yeah, whatever. But you'll notice him. He's obviously very distinctive looking. He's another Westerner.
Yep.
He has a well endowed chest.
Yes.
Just the way that he carries his fat, which is part of why Ryan thinks he looks so unpleasant.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's one of those guys that you can really look at him to study particular technique. He is one of the purest guys at pushing and thrusting as opposed to grappling.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you see him and Tochinoshin go head to head, those are like, I'm sure there are people that are more pure in like the pusher thruster or like the mawashi or like the belt techniques. But those are the two that pop in my head. Like Aoyama, prime pusher thruster, Tochinoshin, prime mawashi grip. So it'd be very interesting to see those two go at it, which I'm sure we will in this.
Yeah,
next
they probably
event.
will.
Yeah, he's in the zone of death, as we call.
Yeah.
So he's going to be facing a lot of the higher rankers this tournament.
So the zone of death is kind of what's referred to as Maegashira ranks 1 through 3. Those are going to face everybody in the Sanyaku, all the Yokozuna, all the Ozeki, the Sekiwake, and the Komosubi. I'm actually not 100% sure that it's all of them, but definitely most of them.
Right, that first week is just torture for those rank
Yeah.
1 through 3 guys.
Yeah. So a lot of times a Maegashira, you'll see those higher rank Maegashiras have really bad records, which kind of confused me when I was first watching. I didn't understand like they were facing all the
Yeah,
hardest
those
people.
guys
I
are
was
ranked
like,
1, 2. They should be doing really
yeah,
good.
why do
right?
they have like a 1 in 10 record at this point? Well, it's because they just went through the grinder and faced all the best people. But so to finish out the zone of death, we have the Maegashira 3, which I actually don't remember off the top of my head at this point. So I'll let somebody who has it in front of them tell you.
I got it here. Oh No Show, who's
That's
actually
right.
very, very new. He is, let's see, he made his debut in 2013, but he didn't make it to the top division Makunochi until May. He's only had 3, or this will only be his 3rd tournament in the top division. So far, he's gone 10-5 in both of those tournaments, and he's rocketed all the way up. He was at 14, then he was at 6, now he's at 3. This will be his first chance to take on the top guys, so this is kind of a make or break for him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can hang in there. How old is he?
Oh No Show, he is 21.
Okay, so yeah, he's a
Very
youngster
young guy.
that.
Yep.
I mean, if he gets his claws into like the Sanyaku ranks, he could rise and stay there for quite a while.
Yeah, I think he's got potential, and this tournament won't. I mean, it's a great opportunity for him, but all things considered, he's very young. This could just be like his, a lesson for him to learn.
Yeah.
Get beat up, come back next time. Now he knows what he's doing. Next time he gets a chance at the top guys, who knows? He could be much better.
All right, and a
Yeah.
quick test for the people who don't have the Bonsuke list right in front of them, which I believe is me, Fleric, and Mac. Who is the other Maegashira 3?
Well,
Fleric?
Chiritario.
Fleric was cheating,
Chiyotorio.
so everybody knows he has the Bonsuke list in front of him.
Yeah, this is
Still
a guy
got it
that we don't.
I guess that is true. It's better than you having the list in front of you and still somehow getting it wrong.
That would be worse. No, this is a guy that we don't know super well. He's been around for a while. Let's see, he made his debut in 2011. But he's been in Makunochi for a while, but usually hovering around the bottom. This tournament, in July, he got a 10-5 record, which would give him a good boost. And just the way that things fell, a bunch of guys ahead of him had bad records, so he jumped all the way from 10-3. He's actually, the fun trivia for you here, the largest promotion of the tournament.
Okay.
He moved up 7 ranks, and that's the best of anybody in the top division.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
So there you go. I guess we'll remember him next time.
Again, be on the lookout for
Can't
him.
really promise you that. There's a lot of Chios. There might be only 2 Chios, but I confuse them every single time.
There's 4 of them, actually. Chiyo Tairyu, Chiyo no Kuni, Chiyo Shoma, and Chiyo Maru.
I actually know Chiyo no Kuni. He's a Maegashira 7 this time, I believe.
Yep.
Because he looks like a Japanese version of my coworker. So
Well,
I
there
will
you
always
go.
remember Chiyo
There
no
you go.
Kuni. But yeah, why don't we just highlight some of the more memorable Rikshi in the remaining ranks? Because I know Ura is still Maegashira 4. He's a very, very popular figure over in Japan and with all of us. I don't know a single one of us that dislikes Ura. or
Yeah,
has him.
he's super exciting. He's
Yeah.
flexible. He's fast. Like we mentioned, though, he is potentially injured. So we'll see what happens. But he was at 4 last tournament and he stayed there. He had a 7-8 record.
Kim Boshi.
And he beat a Yokozuna.
He took
so
down Harmon Fuji.
so there,
Beautiful armbar.
Yeah.
that was a great feather in his cap. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. If he the other thing that's important to note for that rank is if anybody is injured above your rank, you essentially fall into that place as far as matchmaking goes. So if anybody gets injured, Ura, even with that injury, will essentially be kind of in the zone of death by proxy.
Yeah, that's what happened to him in the last tournament. Endo was number 3.
Yep,
and then
exactly.
he got injured,
he
and so
dropped
pretty
out.
much Ura stepped into that Maegashira number 3 role, which is why he got those matches against all the Ozeki and a few of the Yokozuna.
Yeah, so it didn't turn out perfectly for him, but it didn't turn out that bad, obviously.
You still got a taste of the upper level.
Yeah, and if he wouldn't have gotten injured, I think with like 5 days left to go, after I think it was a really good match against Takayasu.
Yes.
Yeah, that was day 10.
Yeah, a
And
really
you-
good showing for both of them. Ura showed that he can hang around with the big boys. He lasted quite a while with Takayasu. Eventually, Takayasu just kind of wore him down. But there was a injury to one of Ura's legs that appeared during that match, I believe.
Yeah, he kind of got crushed, and then he lost the next 4 out of 5 matches, too.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to say that. Well, I think it was against Ichinojo was on his last day, but I might be confusing him with Ishiura.
Ichinojo, he did lose 2 in that stretch,
That's
but
right.
he managed to get one more win at the very end against Chiyonokuni.
Okay, yeah, I think I was confusing him with Ishiura because I think Ishiura has a really good record against Ichinojo, even though there's quite the size difference there.
Yeah, Ishiura is another one of our favorites. He, kind of like Ura, he's a much smaller guy. He's always the underdog, but he manages to be tricky enough, quick enough.
Henka enough.
Henka.
Henka.
Well,
It's a very important skill to have.
when you dislike a guy, it's a Henka. When you like the guy,
It's good strategy.
It's great
fair
strategy. Yeah. But no, Ishiura, he's another one of our favorites. He's down at Megashira 10. He's kind of been hovering around that middle section of the Megashira since he made his debut last year. But yeah, he's a really short guy, and he looks like a bodybuilder. Like the rest of the
He
guys,
is built.
the rest of the guys look like fat guys with some muscle on them. But Ishiura looks like a bodybuilder with
With a
belly.
little bit of fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is just watch him get more and more of a belly. as
Oh yeah,
tournaments go on.
definitely.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a
He's
little
put on
bit
a lot of
bigger.
weight this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's working on it.
Yeah, and he's I mean a little older. I mean he's like 26, 27, I
27.
believe, and he just got to Makinuchi at the end of last year or the very beginning of this year. So
Yeah, his first one was November. But yeah, he made his debut in 2013, and he worked all the way up from the bottom. That's not everybody works their way up all the way from the bottom. Sometimes college athletes get a head start.
Shodai, Hokuto Fuji, I believe,
Both
of
those
them.
guys for sure. Yeah, but Ishiura, he started a little bit later in life than most do, and obviously he's much smaller than most of these athletes are. But yeah, he worked his way all the way up from the bottom, and he's been hanging around in the top division for almost a year now.
And I think some of the other more notable Maegashira, you're going to have Shodai at Maegashira number 5, who was Maegashira number 1 in the previous tournament, and it used to be Sekewake towards the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he
For
had one
one
tournament
tournament.
up there. Yep.
Yeah. He hasn't. I don't think he's had a winning record. He might have had a winning record as a Komosubi once, but I don't believe he has. Each time he's been in Senyaku, he lost his rank. Now he's back down to number 5 Maegashira rank, so probably going to see another good tournament out of Shodai. It seems to be this is kind of his range.
Yeah, he's
Right
another
now.
guy. He's a little bit below his range. With his partner at that rank, Taka Keisho, kind of the same story.
Well, Taka Keisho, he's a real newcomer, very similar to Onosho, isn't he?
I'm not sure when he actually first came up. Let's find out.
Yeah, I know the past couple of
When
tournaments.
Takakeisho pop up.
Takakeisho, yeah, he just started in 2014.
Okay.
He also worked his way up from the bottom, made it up pretty quickly. He made his debut in January.
Makanouchi. Okay.
Makanouchi debut in January. Yep.
And he was also Maegashira #1 at the last tournament and did not go very well for him.
No.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's kind of a preview for Onosho.
Yeah,
I hope not.
He had a couple great tournaments in a row in Makanouchi, right up to the top, and then he went 5-10 last time.
But yeah, why doesn't Jake and Flair, you guys got the Bansuke in front of us. Why don't you throw out a couple of recognizable names?
Another
where
one,
they're ranked.
another one who I think is below where his talent should be is Ikioi.
Yeah.
Ikioi, he's another kind of popular guy. He's been around for a while, but he is all the way down at Megashira 7. He kind of bounces up and down. He has been up in the Kamasubi Sekiwaki range before, but in general, he's usually somewhere in the 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of Megashira ranks.
Yeah.
He just had one bad tournament. Well, I mean, he's had several in his career, but he had a bad tournament that bumped him down to 7.
Every time I see him in the zone of death, he doesn't have a good tournament. And then
And he alternates, and
Yeah.
then he'll drop down a little bit like this one, and then he'll have a great tournament. But
Yeah, exactly.
to his credit, though, last tournament, even though he only went 4-11, he did beat Kisano Sato before Kisano Sato pulled out with injury.
That was going to be my question, was what was he on the last tournament?
Yep,
Yeah.
4-11 with one Kinboshi.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of those. I mean, Kiboshi's a Kimboshi, but I feel like a couple of those are kind of cheap coming against a beat up Kisano Sato and Kakuryu.
Yeah,
You
it's
shut
not
your
what
mouth.
it could be. Yeah, fair or not, he got it.
Yeah.
So, some other notables. Kaisei is a Brazilian. He is actually also been around for a little while. He's gotten all the way up to Sekiwaki in the past.
I didn't
but
realize that.
yeah,
Feels like everybody's had a run at Sekewake.
well, I mean, when the top ranks get shuffled around so often,
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think it's a little bit uncommon that we've seen guys hang on to Sekiwaki in the time that we've been watching every tournament.
Yeah, because Tamawashi was Sekewake for 4 tournaments before he had a losing one. Takayasu was Sekewake the whole time we were watching until he was promoted to Ozeki. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just had one tournament of Shodai, but yeah, I think for the most part it's been pretty steady.
Yeah. Kaisei, he's been around, and he's one of those guys that in general is again kind of the top half of Megashira. Like that's where his talent should put him. But yeah, he had a couple bad tournaments. He had some injuries going on. Fell down to Juryo, and only spent one tournament there because he went 10-5 in July, and so now he's back at rank 13. So I expect him to overperform a little bit because I do think that he's ranked below his talent.
Another one, we discussed him a little bit before, Endo, Megashira 14, definitely ranked below his talent, but with an injury.
Yeah,
it's just hard to
impossible
tell
to
what's
predict
gonna
there
happen.
until we know more about his injury.
If he even can compete at this Basho.
We do have 2 debuts.
Okay.
We have Yutakayama and Asanoyama. Both of these guys are very young. They both went 11-4. They were actually both involved in a 3-way tie for the Juryo title last tournament. And actually, neither of them are the winner. So the one who won the Basho in Juryo was Dayamami, one of my favorite names. But yeah, all 3 of those guys went 11-4, which meant they had to do a 3-way playoff. Dayamami came out on top, but because of where their ranks were, they all got a good promotion. But Yutakayama and Asanoyama, that promotion went from Juryo to Makanouchi.
Okay.
How is it that they had a better record than Kaisei, and yet Kaisei was ranked higher than them?
I'm glad you asked. No, Kaisei, he was previously at Juryo 1. So basically, any promotion would put him back in Makanouchi. Whereas Yutakayama and Asanoyama were both at Juryo 5. So their promotion didn't put him quite so far up, but they did have, yes, one more win than Kaisei did.
So we have Dayomama and Asanoyama.
Close on one of them.
Okay.
Asanoyama and Yutakayama.
Sure.
Both of these guys are 23 years old. They haven't been around for very long. And, I mean, somebody that young making it all the way up to the top, that does seem pretty promising.
Yeah, and I mean, it could just be like Onosho a couple tournaments ago where they rise up the ranks really quickly, or could just falter out and they've reached their limit. Who knows, really, until we see them in action.
Yep, but they are names to watch. I think they could be pretty exciting.
Yeah, why don't we talk about a couple of departures from the Makunuchi division? I know big bowling ball Gagamaru.
Gagamaru.
Yep, one of the few guys currently topping 200 kilograms.
I believe he was the heaviest rikishi in the last Basho.
In the
That's
Makunuchi,
probably
yes.
yeah, and yeah, this is a big Georgian bowling ball. Once again, not America, Georgia. I'm pretty sure Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia. But yeah, he dropped down. He did not have a good tournament at all. He was Maegashira's 16. I think he only mustered out 3 to 4 wins. Yeah.
Yep.
And so he's probably down in Juryo ranks quite a bit. And then I will let Jake tell you about his favorite rikishi.
My favorite to watch lose, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's a happy and a sad day for me because it's sad that I don't have anyone else to root against. But no, my
You can join me on the Aoyama hate train.
no, too late for that. But no, there's another guy named Koto Yuki. He is fairly young. He is 20.
Is he?
He's 26.
He looks like 48.
Oh yeah, he's got grandpa face going on. He's got grandpa face real bad. But anyways, he's one of the guys that I've kind of been like rooting against, like, you know, as a friendly rival kind of deal.
There's nothing friendly about it.
No, it's pure hatred.
So there
No,
isn't
he's,
anything specific you don't like about him.
He doesn't like to touch his hands to the ground. He kind of just charges forwards when he's ready to do it.
Isn't that a false start?
Yeah, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of the times when he does it, it's close enough that the Gyoji just says, "Yeah, all right, whatever."
Yeah. Jake even has a very cute nickname for Koto Yuki.
Oh yeah, anytime he's on the screen, I mean, it's to the point where I can just say to my wife, "Hey, it's Koto Yuki," and she just goes, "That rat bastard." But yeah, so he was at Megashira 14 last tournament, had a 4-11 record, so he dropped down to Juryo 3. And another guy who's moving down is Sokokurai.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, he's
Sokokurai.
he was actually the only Chinese wrestler in the top division.
And the only wrestler in top division who was previously fired for a match-fixing scandal.
There you go. Fun story.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He was back in 2011. He was part of that match-fixing scandal. I don't know all the details on it, but that's definitely something we're going to go into on like in between Basho.
Oh, that's totally going to be a bonus
Episode, yeah.
episode.
Yes,
Eventually,
please.
yeah.
I
was
wish
he
you know
the
this.
Yeah.
was he the chicken farmer one?
He was a chicken farmer.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Fantastic.
Short version of the story is he got kicked out of sumo, and he stayed trying to push the court case to get back in because he was innocent, or at least that's the way that
They
who
portrayed
knows?
it.
That's the way the court case came out though. So by court order, he was reinstated at his previous rank, and
That's got to be awkward.
in the meantime, while he was fired, he was just a chicken farmer in southern Japan.
Wow.
There you go. But yeah, those are the main guys who are moving down. But there are a couple other lower ranked wrestlers that I think are worth watching out for. There's 2 guys on their way up that I think are worth watching. There's a new guy named Yago. I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. He is making his Juryo debut at Juryo 13, and it is his 3rd tournament.
Oh, this is a
wow.
guy who doesn't even have the hair for the top knot yet, right?
Right? Yeah, that happens a lot when guys move up too quick. Well, not too quick, obviously. They don't mind.
They don't care.
No, they don't.
He's getting
But
paid
yeah,
now.
when they move up really, really quickly, they don't have time to grow their hair long enough to do the proper top knot. So yeah, if you see this guy, he'll just have his hair kind of like tied up in a bun at the top almost because he doesn't have the full chonmagi haircut. Another guy to watch out for is a guy who is from Hakuho stable,
Ooh.
Enho. This is also his 3rd tournament. He is only 22 years old, and he is 14-0 overall. He's won two Yusho in the lower divisions.
Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
he won the Yusho in the very bottom division, then the second to bottom division, and now he's ranked in the middle of the third to bottom division, Sandanme.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool.
We'll look
Gotta
to
watch.
see good things from him in a couple of years when he makes it to Makunuchi.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe.
Hey, if he keeps performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys move up at different speeds, but these guys are making a break for it right away.
Well, I think we touched on it a little bit before. I had mentioned Tochi Ozan jumping up to the Komosubi rank. Kind of wanted to get your guys' thought on this. He was, I believe we said Maegashira 5 at the last tournament and had a 12-3 record. which I believe was the third best record in that tournament, but he jumped over Maegashira 1. No, not Maegashira 1. Maegashira 2 Tochinoshin, who had a winning record. Maegashira 2 Hokuto Fuji, who had a winning record. Both of those guys got Kinboshi. I feel like one of those guys, even though they both had a 9-6 or 8-7 record, maybe not Hokuto Fuji, but definitely Tochinoshin, because he had a Kinboshi over Kisano Sato as well, I believe. And I really thought he was going to be the guy that jumped into that Komosubi rank alongside of Tamawashi. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be all conspiracy theory, but there could be politics involved. It seems kind of weird. 12-3 is great, but I mean, 9-6 from a much better position.
Yeah, I know it's just based on records and all that, and it's probably once again my American.
Did they face off at all during that tournament? Maybe Tochiozan won against Tochinoshin.
Yeah, let me take a look.
I don't think they did.
No, they did not.
No, I don't remember.
They sure will this time.
Yeah,
That's true.
But
Maybe we just settle it in the ring.
Done.
Yeah, I think that's more my American ideology. Tochinoshin went up against Yokozuna, Ozeki, Sekiwake, Komosubi, ended up with a winning record, 9-6 record, very respectable. Had a Kinboshi, beat a Yokozuna. I feel like somebody at that rank with that record, beating who he beat, should have gained enough to move forward into that Komosubi rank, as opposed to somebody like Tochiozan, who I like Tochiozan. I have no problems with the
He had
sideburns
some
of
nice
death.
wins as well. He won against Takayasu on day 12.
That's fair.
That's no Zeki. That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
nothing.
That's a good point. But I still just feel like there's guys who earned that spot a little bit more than Tochiozan did.
Sure.
But I mean, that's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
We
I
haven't
will
been
go on-
watching long enough to know for sure how
right.
it's supposed
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah,
But
I'll go on the thing that's deserved because 12-3 is hard. It's hard to
yeah,
do.
no matter where you're at.
Yeah, that's an impressive score at any time. And 9-6 is pretty good, but 12-3 is pretty. I think that's a score deserving to go above.
yeah, he also beat both Sekiwake last time too. On the last 2 days, he beat Mitakayumi and Tamawashi back to back.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, pretty impressive to me for both guys. But yeah, it definitely goes against what we were predicting was going to happen.
Yeah, and Tochiozan's another guy who spent at least some time at Sekewake, I believe.
Oh yeah,
And
both
so
of these
we
guys.
know he has the chops to hang. Let's see if he still has them, because I mean he was younger, obviously, when he was there before. Let's see if he can still hang there. But yeah, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap up our discussion of the Bonds-K. We're gonna take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back and discuss our predictions for the upcoming tournaments. And we'll see you on the other side of this break.
We all know how busy you Rikishi are. Luckily for you, there are sumo-loving singles waiting right outside your Heya. OK Sumo is the elite matchmaking service for Rikishi, catering to Megashira and Yokozuna alike. Search for singles in your area or make connections across the globe. Either way, our sumo file singles are waiting for you. Will you be their Kinboshi? Download the OK Sumo app today from the Basho Play Store. We're waiting for you.
Welcome back. All right, we're going to just jump right into our prediction series. And pretty much how this is going to work, each of us is going to predict the Yusho winner, the June Yusho winner. We're going to select 3 candidates that we think could win a special prize, and each one of those that we hit will get a point for. And we're going to select who we think will get a Kinboshi, and for a bonus point on top of that, which Yokozuna will they beat for that Kinboshi. So I'll just go ahead and get things started with my Yusho winner. I know he's a little dinged up, and there's some concerns about his knee, but until proven otherwise, I'm going to go with the winner of the last 2 Bashos and the winner of the most Bashos of all time, Hakuho.
I, too, will pick Hakuho.
I shall not pick Hakuho.
Neither
All
was
right.
I. I was hoping that
wow.
I was
Little
hoping I'd be
dissent
the only
among
one
the
out.
ranks.
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm taking Takayasu.
Of
And
course you
that
are.
is who I choose.
There
wow.
you go.
All right, for a little bit of background information, those two have an extreme love for Takayasu that is clouding their judgment?
How can you not?
Yeah.
My judgment is clear, sir.
Look at the man.
He is a beautiful hairy beast. I cannot deny you that.
Thank you.
Extremely hairy. Probably the only guy I can think of off the top of my head that's got any appreciable amount of body hair.
That's a fair point. Kaisei. Did
Well,
Kaisei
okay,
have
Kaisei's
body hair?
like-
of
Kaisei.
the Japanese guys for sure.
Well, isn't
but,
he Mongolian?
No,
Takayasu?
actually, he's Filipino and
Yep.
Japanese.
Yep, his mother was Filipino.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, so we'll go to the Junyu show, and I'm really not making any huge leaps here for my first prediction series, but I'm going to go with Haruma Fuji.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Why don't you pick the top two guys to finish top two, huh?
Hey, I think I'll do that. No, I mean, he's Yokozuna. He hasn't won a tournament for a while. I think he's due. He's had 8 in his career, I believe. He hasn't had one in over a year. He's due to get close. It wouldn't shock me if he won this at all, but I'm going to go with Haruma Fuji for the Junyu show.
I too am going to go Haruma Fuji. Although I'm a
Wow,
little-
so bold.
I know. Well,
Are you
he's my
taking
boy.
Haruma
He's my
Fuji?
boy, though. He's one of my favorite.
That is Flarik's boy.
Yeah,
I
him-
can confirm.
Him and Arawashi, they were up there.
Oh, we never covered, real quick, sorry. What is Arawashi's rank in this Basho, just so we get Flarik happy?
Arawashi is currently ranked, killing time with more talking, 9.
All right, there you go. All right.
Yeah, he can. Well, I guess he can go down too, but he's going to do quite well. I believe. But no, talking about Haruma Fuji is. I think he's going to do good. He's more exciting because he's definitely tries to be faster and try to be like surprise people with coming at them from different directions.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite guys to watch, just his speed.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's almost as high level as Hakuho, but he certainly uses more agility, where Hakuho primarily uses strength.
Whatever the hell
Technique
he
and
wants.
strength.
Whatever the hell he wants, for
Exactly,
sure. But
yeah.
yeah, Hakuho is generally the bigger guy in the ring. Haruma Fuji's closer to an average size.
Yeah, Hakuho reminds me of like an all-rounder. He's just good at a lot of things.
You don't get to be the best of all time by,
Yeah.
not being well rounded. But yeah, I get it. He can do anything, and he
takes his
employs
time.
Every
a lot of his
technique.
matches,
Oh, yeah.
he just takes his time.
He'll
Very
get his
patient.
preferred Mawashi grip, and then
And
he'll
the,
just...
the best slap to the face during
Yes.
the Tachi-ai.
Yeah.
And all of that is why I think he will be the Junyo show winner.
That's
Well,
fair.
dang it, Jake.
All right. Well, me and Mac are going to have to pick different eventually, aren't we?
Yes.
I think once we get down to the special prize winners, we'll probably get that figured
Yeah,
out.
probably.
Speaking of special prize winners, I'm just going to have to go off the top of my head because who I had picked, I've decided one of those probably isn't going to pan out very well.
You thinking Endo?
I was thinking Endo, but
Yeah.
I think his injuries are going to be too much. I am going to go with Hokuto Fuji. I believe he's at the same rank he was last time. He had a pretty good tournament. I think a little bit more experience at that range. He'll do a little bit better. I'm predicting... Well, I'm not going to spoil that yet. Let's just say I think he's going to get a special prize. I've also got Takakeisho. I like where he's at. And then I know I've been talking smack on him, but I'll go with Tochi Ozan.
Tochi Ozan, you think he might get that outstanding one and beat your eventual winner?
Very well good.
That's the outstanding performance special prize. It goes to whoever is able to beat the eventual Yusho winner.
As far as we understand it.
As far as we understand it, I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
what it is.
What about you, Flarek?
I am thinking special prizes. Asa Noma, the new guy coming from down from
Asano Yama.
Asayo Yama, yes.
There we go. We got through it.
Right you are. Right you are, Jake.
But yeah, you think he's better than that 16 rank?
Yes, I definitely do. I think he's on a hot streak. He's just gonna he's young. I think he's from college, right? So he's done some sumo before, even though he's just recently entered it. I think he's gonna have a great time and surprise some people. On that same thing, Onosho, I like the guy as well. He's surprising me, and after that, it's going to be Aoyama. I think he has something to prove, and I think he's going to.
He has nothing to prove. He got the Junyu show last time. He's going to rest on his laurels.
No. He's going to come
His
out.
prodigious, well-endowed laurels. Now there we go. Now that's a more bold pick, I think. Picking somebody up in the zone of death to, rather than you two guys just picking the top two.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
They
I'm
can't-
going to give you crap for that.
They can't really get
Yeah.
special prizes, so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just pick Hakuho more times.
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Just for clarification, Ozeki and Yokozuna ranks cannot win special prizes.
Same with
Sekiwake's can.
Sekiwake and
Can they?
Komusubi can.
Mitake
They-
Yumi won the
They just
outstanding
can't
performance.
win. They can't win the gold stars. Can't
Yep.
win
Can't
Kimboshi.
Kimboshis.
The
Yeah,
gold
Mit-
stars are only for a Megashira who beats a Yokozuna.
Yeah, Mitake Yumi got outstanding performance last Basho, and I know Takayasu has gotten a special prize since we've been watching when he was a Sekiwake rank.
My 3 guys that I'm picking. First off, I'm going to pick Kaisei. I think that he is in a great position to down at the 13 rank. I think he is, like I said before, I think he is ranked below his talent. So I expect a good performance out of him, and I think he can get a special prize out of that. It's kind of the same boat for Ikiyoi. He's a guy that always fights with a lot of intensity. I think he would be. I think he'd be a great candidate for a fighting spirit prize if he does well. And lastly, I'm picking Mitake Yumi. He's a Sekiwake, which means he's going to be facing all the top guys and inevitably facing the guy that goes on to win. So I think he can. I think he can pull it off.
You don't get bonus points for selecting which special prize I get.
Yeah, but I can rub it in if I get it right.
That's fair enough.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you on Mitake Yumi. I definitely think he's in line for a special prize this Basho. He's shown great technique, great spirit, definitely a contender.
And he was the guy who got it last tournament when he was the sole person to beat Hakuho.
Yep.
That's also true. Also going to have to side with you on Kaisei. I think he's got a lot to prove coming into this Basho.
Prove that he's healthy. Prove that he belongs where we think he's going. Sure.
So I'm expecting something good out of him, and I'm also expecting good out of Ura. I know he's injured. I know he's still banged up a little bit, but I'm definitely feeling the fighting spirit prize
Yeah,
coming from
a
him.
healthy Ura is the most fighting spirit out of anybody that I know of.
Yeah, definitely. And my Kinboshi upset special, I'm going to go with, I hinted at it a little earlier, I'm going to go with Hokuto Fuji. It's a little bit more difficult because I don't believe Kakuryu and Kisano Sato are going to be there to receive all the Kinboshis this tournament like they did in the last one.
Yeah, they gave up a few.
Yeah.
They gave up 5 total between. Well, okay, there were 6 losses between the 2 of them, but not all of them were to
Yeah.
Megashira.
But I think I'm going to go with, since I got Hakuho winning, I'm going to go with him beating Haruma Fuji. I think Hokuto Fuji's size will allow him to resist the speed of Haruma Fuji and throw him out of the ring. So that's my Kinboshi upset special. What about you, Flarek?
I'm going to double down on Aoyama again.
God.
He's going to face those Yokozuna in the first couple of weeks. He's going to find one of the injured ones and take him down.
I also want to point out, I'm pretty sure my hatred of Aoyama is the only reason a few of the other people at this table like him a lot.
Oh yeah, we're just egging you on, and we're getting a rise out of you. So
Yeah,
of course
it
we're going to
works.
keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He
obviously.
just now
Every
figured it
time.
out.
I'm a little slow, but I get there.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give you too much crap on this, Ryan, because I was going to make the same pick here. I think Hokuto Fuji is in a great position, and he's got a lot of talent. I think he can get an upset. And yeah, I was also going to take Haruma Fuji.
All right.
I think that's a matchup that could definitely result in an upset.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, we have to pick which one, don't we?
Yeah, I was about to say, Flarek, I don't remember who you chose, who they're going over.
I'll go with,
I was just too excited to make the correct pick.
I'll go with Kakuryu.
You think Kakuryu's
You think he'll stay healthy long enough?
I think he'll show up to a tournament. Yeah, I think he
Alright.
has to, yeah.
Well, I'm siding with Tochinoshin. Tochinoshin on this one. He showing great promise, excellent grappling ability with the Mawashi, and I think he's going to take it over Haruma Fuji.
I was just going to say, if you had guessed Hakuho, that would have been one of my fun facts that I was saving up here.
Well, save it for later. We've got more important business to attend to.
Like fun facts.
Well, before fun facts, we have to determine what the punishment will be for the loser of the prediction series. So what we're going to do, we're going to pile up points. We'll figure out how the points actually work later, and we'll fill you in on it on our next podcast. You can hear, I'm sure, Mac is shuffling up the different choices for the punishments in the Bowl of Doom.
So what does Ryan have to do next month?
I highly doubt it's going to be me, but I have found that I've chosen my favorite one in there. So the loser must write a series of 3 haikus. The first haiku will be about how amazing the winner is. The second haiku will be about how bad the loser is. And the third haiku will be about how badly the winner would beat the loser in a sumo match between the 2 of them. So that is what the loser will have to do. They will read their haikus at our review series of this basho.
We'll determine the winner and the loser before that episode.
Yeah. As soon as the basho is over, we'll figure out who the winner is, who the loser is, and the loser will get hard at work and share their shame.
Got to have plenty of time to get those creative juices flowing.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and we did discuss if there are 2 people or 3 people tied with the least amount of points at the bottom, they are all losers and will all have to go through the punishment, while we will have a tiebreaker to determine who is the ultimate winner.
Watch us all get last place.
Oh, it's going to happen. We're all going to have to write
crap.
a series of 4 different series of 3 haikus written about each of us.
If fantasy football that we've played together in the past means anything, we don't know anything about
it's
sports.
awful.
Well, speak for yourself.
And
I
for you,
am
Yes.
like a 2-time winner of my League of Legends fantasy league. I'm just gonna say.
I am so sorry.
Have you just been
I take
selecting
it all back.
Cloud9 the whole time? Yeah, thank you.
I know what some of those words meant. All right, and I believe Jake has been giddily mentioning these for the past few minutes, so let's get to Jake's fun facts.
I really, really want to learn sign language so that I can just pester you with this without distracting you, saying, let's get on to the fun fact. The fun fact that I was so rudely interrupted.
Hey, you got to wait for your segment's turn.
You're right. We got to build up time for my segment here
Should
so
we
I
get
can
a little
actually fill
sound
it out.
intro for your segment as well?
Yeah, we'll work it in. I'm sure when you guys are listening to this, it would have been a very nice
Don't
Jake's
give me
facts
ideas.
intro.
Maybe next time.
Don't give me ideas. So, that fun fact, though, Hakuho.
Jake's
and-
fun facts.
Ooh. I think we're on to something.
Danger.
Danger facts.
That first fun fact for you. First fun fact. No, Hakuho and Tochinoshin, what I thought Mac was about to pick, would have been a bad one. Hakuho and Tochinoshin have fought each other 25 times.
And Tochinoshin has won all of them.
How did you know? No, he has never beaten Hakuho. 25 different matches. So that's the equivalent of over, 4 years straight? He's lost to him every time, give or take.
4 years
I
and
dodged a
won.
bullet.
Yeah, yeah, you did. No kidding. Fun fact number 2.
Fun fact 2.
All right, we're getting somewhere with these sound effects. The record for the heaviest sumo wrestler in professional sumo history was broken this month by Aurora. He's
As
not
in Borealis?
no at Orora. But I don't know. You can
That's
Wor-
my nickname for him if I ever see him.
work on a joke for that one. It's got potential.
All right.
But he has broken the weight record by hitting 288 kilograms.
In English.
In American, that is 635 pounds.
Holy cow.
That's a big boy.
And he's not young either. He's 34. I don't think I've ever felt so bad for a pair of knees.
No kidding.
Ow.
Yeah, he does not move around
Yeah,
very easily.
I watched some matches of him, and when he just goes down to for the tachiai, it just looks painful.
Yeah, and then he just kind of stands up and stands in place.
I thought the same
it's
thing
rough.
with Gagamara.
Which-
when Gagamara would
Yeah.
square
Yeah,
off.
he's an intense version of Gagamaru.
Which division is he going to be in?
He's never made it above Makushita, which is
Okay.
the 3rd division, the one that's below Juryo.
Okay.
And yeah, he's been hovering around the bottom of that division and the lower divisions for a number of years.
Okay.
Probably not going anywhere at this point, but
So we won't see him unless we seek it out
we
for
won't
novelty.
exactly. We won't see him on live broadcasting or anything like that. Fun fact number 3:
Fun fact 3.
there is an American in professional sumo right now,
My new favorite.
Waka Ichiro,
Pardon?
Ooh,
which
I-
means it's a literal version of his name, Ichiro Young.
Oh,
So just literally translated it. Waka
tell me
Ichiro.
more of this.
He's in
newcomer.
his 5th tournament. He is in Jonidan, which is the second to bottom division, but he's only 19. He's working his way
Oh,
up.
he's a kid.
He's a big guy. He's half Japanese and half African American. He's got a gigantic afro. It is hilarious. But yeah, he's been doing well. So he's got potential to move up. So that'll be good. Hopefully we see him around. And I got 2 more for you. So fun fact number 4.
Fun fact 4.
All right, so Ryan's got a new full-time job there.
I am the soundboard.
I'm
for
sure
this.
you have all heard of Taiho.
Yes.
Taiho, for our listeners and for not just Ryan, who lied about knowing who that is.
He's an old-timer guy. He
yeah.
had 32 tournament wins. He was the most before Hakuho beat him. I read a book.
You did read a book. Well done. He was big in the 60s. He was, like Ryan said, the leader in tournament titles until Hakuho. His grandson is making his professional debut this tournament.
Oh, cool.
His name is Konosuke Naya. I'm not sure what his ring name is going to be yet. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of information out there yet. But he is a big guy. He's in the same stable as Goeido. Well, yeah, of course he's a big guy, but he's big for sumo. He's already 160 kilos, so that's like right around average, if not a little bit above. So he could go somewhere. He's got about as good of
Pedigree as you could
good
hope
a
for.
pedigree as you could possibly hope for. Yep.
Fun fact 5.
This is the last fun fact.
Last fun fact.
Good special sound effects. For the September tournament, they don't sell all the tickets in advance. Some of the tickets they sell on the spot on the day of the matches and so on. Mm-hmm. But of the 170,000 tickets that they did sell in advance, they all sold out in less than an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, sumo's popular.
Good. Hope it sticks around for a while and keeps our podcast in business.
Yeah, because we're just raking in the cash.
Hey, at least it's entertaining.
We hope.
Well, no, I meant sumo. Sumo's entertaining. I'm enjoying.
Oh, we know the podcast isn't.
Yeah.
Well, no, not yet.
Yeah.
Not until Ryan has to write those haikus.
Yes.
I mean, probably. But yeah, whatever. So, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the meat of our podcast. We just got a couple things to wrap up, and so I'll let Jake get started with that.
Sure. We want to put out a special thanks to Ben DuPey. He's a fellow podcaster who helped us get on our feet.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this podcast and want to leave a review or comment, you can do that on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast listening sites.
You can follow us on Twitter at GSumo Breakdown, or our Facebook page, Grand Sumo Breakdown.
You can also check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com, where you can follow our Fantasy Sumo League and find other goodies.
Or if you have any questions, comments, or corrections, feel free to send us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com.
And that's going to do it for this preview edition of the Akiba Show, taking place September 10th through whatever 15 days later is. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time, throw your salt high and keep moving forward.